Leonard, the Truth Seeker, coming to you with a few minutes of truth. And I'm only going to be a few minutes because I want to present to you this video from another sister in the revolution. As many of you are aware, Miss Keenka Jenkins, a 19-year-old from Chicago, Illinois, and she was found dead in a freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in the Rosemont section of the city. A lot of questions. Very mysterious in the nature of her death. And yet, even after the surveillance video, there was a lot more questions that needed to be answered. And one of our dear sisters, Sister Tiffany Blakeney, has been following this situation very, very closely. And she took to her Facebook page this week to basically give her assessment of what was going on. So I'm going to present to you that video in hopes that she can give you guys what has been going on, what information she is able to ascertain, and be able to present some sort of issue. Now, because Tiffany is an active listener or a viewer of this channel, she is an active viewer on this channel, she comments very frequently on this channel, I'm sure if you have any questions about this situation, you can simply just put the question in and she can provide the best answer that she can. Now, how is this relevant to the revolution? I believe that not only preachers need to be held accountable, but in this case, the police need to be held accountable. The hotel needs to be held accountable, because it seems like this situation seems like they're going to try to brush this under the rug, and we can't let that happen. Keenka's life deserves answers. Keenka's mother deserves answers. She deserves justice for whatever happened. The truth needs to be told, and the truth needs to be known. And if there are some people that need to be held accountable or liable for this death, they need to be taken and put, justice needs to be served on them. That is my goal with posting this video. I'm not getting wrapped up into all the conspiracies in that. That's why I'm bringing her video on there, because she goes through and deciphers through what is conspiracy and what's factual and what's speculation, and going on from there. So, without any further ado, first of all, God bless you, Sister Martin. God bless you. I mean, seriously. I'm keeping your family in prayer. I know that this is a very rough time that you're dealing with the loss of your daughter. But God bless you. And with everyone else, just so that you know, revolution. This is Brother Leonard, the Truth Seeker, and now here it is, Miss Tiffany Blakeney with her perspective. Revolution, everybody.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Tiffany. I hope each and every one of you are having a blessed day today. You know me, I come to you because I have something on my heart. And unfortunately today it is with regards to the Keenka Jenkins story. I tell you, this story has just been so gripping to me. I just can't shake it. I can't let it go. I can't let it rest, as so many across the land cannot. And someone asked me on yesterday, why is everybody so compelled by this story? And I said, everything in this case, everything that's wrong in society just seems to be involved in this entire matter. Everything that's distasteful in society we find here in this case. And it's extremely disturbing, but the truth of the matter is that drug culture that we need to be fighting tooth and nail, that drug culture is very, very real. Hip hop, and I can't speak about I can't speak about the rock culture. I can't speak about the heavy metal culture. I know they got their stuff. I just don't know their stuff. But the hip hop culture, it promotes a lot of what you saw if you actually saw the video of the actual party. Yes, it promotes it. Everything, and I'm unconvertible on this issue, so you don't need to write me. There's nothing that you can write that's going to change my mind. But everything that God says is wrong, hip-hop says you should do. It promotes everything that God says you shouldn't do. Hip-hop celebrates it. I said this years ago. I was right then and I'm right now. Just because man endorses it doesn't mean that God approves it. But I think people are looking at that party. They're looking at the fact that these are young adults. And there are a lot of young adults who are so moved by this story. Why? Because they know those kinds of parties. Many have been to those kinds of parties. They have friends that go to those kinds of parties, or they're still going to those kinds of parties. And they look at Miss Jenkins and they realize, my God, that could have been me. That could have been my best friend. That could have been my sister. And so it is very compelling. Now, I want to offer a legal perspective. I'm going to get to it, but I want to address a few other things that are going on the web right now. And just bear with me if you can. I'll try to be as brief as possible. And I'm sorry, I'm referring to my notes. Videos. There are a lot of false surveillance videos that are being disseminated at this time. I know there's one young lady, it's actually kind of entertaining. She's screaming and hollering, "Don't you see that shadow? Don't you see that shadow?" Running the opposite direction. And it's actually quite annoying. And yes, the truth of the matter is we see the shadow on your video, but we don't see it on ours. And so there are a lot of videos out there that people are now looking at that is actually not what the Rosemont Police Department disseminated to the public on this past Friday. So I'm not saying that young lady has done anything. I'm just saying that she's looking at what she's looking at, but everybody's not going to see the same thing. That's because we have so many mean-spirited people out here who love to keep the internet buzzing with even in devastating times, they love to keep the internet buzzing with more devastation. That's just how mean-spirited this world has become. So be mindful of the surveillance videos that you are watching. Secondly, the timestamps. I know people are really wanting to make an issue about the timestamp thing. And I tell you, I wish I had looked this up. But I know for a fact, because it is known that a large percentage of the video camera in corporations, particularly large corporations, they are not synchronized properly. And it is actually known, I think the percentage is like 60%, are incorrect because of daylight savings times, or just they weren't programmed properly. And also a lot of times when corporations make renovations, enhancements, add new rooms, just more cameras, they just never do get synchronized. So now that is a true regulatory issue, and who knows, maybe your girl will actually do something about that legally one day. I could use the business, but nevertheless, a surveillance camera that doesn't have the exact times is still admissible in court. It is. So I wouldn't get too hung up on the time stamp. I just really wouldn't, because I know that there is a window of allowance, and I believe that allowance is an hour. That's what I should have looked up, but I believe it's an hour. If it's not an hour, it is at least 50 minutes. That's actually allowed, folks. And again, I said that some bad surveillance videos have been disseminated. People have enhanced them. Not enhanced. They've tampered with them. So you are going to see some lapses in time. So keep that in mind. Next, people are talking about the thickness of Keenka, and sometimes she looks thin and sometimes she looks thicker. And I'm on the fence about some of that. I'm on the fence. But if you look at the video of her and her friends arriving to the party together, she actually does have hips. You know, it's not like pow, but she actually does have hips. So I'm not going to jump on the thickness bandwagon. I'm not going to do that either. But what I would like to suggest to some of you that are being social media detectives, and this is a technique that I know gets used sometimes, not most times, but sometimes. And that is that the police department could possibly be purposely putting out a false narrative. The reason being is the circle of people that are involved with that night and the events of that night is quite big. That party looked like it could have had, I don't know, 40 people in it, maybe 50. So the circle is big, and keep in mind that there are probably a lot of friendships within that circle. So when you're dealing with a large group of people, it is easier to put out one narrative when you actually have something else that you're looking at. It's easier to do. I can't explain it down to the core. Maybe there'll be some detective that will come behind me and do that. But that is a technique that is sometimes used. And I am thinking more and more. I did not sleep Friday because of all of this. On Saturday, I got better sleep, but not great sleep. But it came to me Saturday night. This came to me, and I am still holding to this theory that the police department is purposely telling the people one thing when they really have something else. They do that when the circle is very big. Keep in mind, there was illegal activity going on. We are talking about young adults. There's a lot of room for a lot of lying to take place. So this may be a technique that they're using. If I am correct, keep in mind, Miss Martin, Keenka Jenkins' mother, about 5 days ago, I don't think she had representation. She does now. If I'm correct, and this is what they're doing, you're going to hear a lot less from her. And I'll just leave it at that. So yeah, take that, see what you think. Now I'm going to direct you to a video. I do not subscribe to most of this junk that's out here. I just don't. Because I know most of them, they're not detectives and they're not attorneys. So I don't hold on to every single theory that everyone has come up with. There is a young man, I believe his name is Mike. I'm going to direct you to his video. He did a very good, very comprehensive, very level-headed, very detailed report. And I am going to share that link. It's going to be the first comment underneath this video, and I'll give you the link. If you want to watch it from start to finish, that's fine. But if you want to get to the very last point that I agree with, and it makes me believe even more in my thoughts that they're purposely putting out the wrong narrative on purpose, slide over to 39 minutes and watch it from there. It won't be long. But he has the nice media technology, and he's able to show you some angles. He did a great overview of the hotel itself. But the last point he makes sticks with me. And it sticks with me right now as possibly being the truth. So 39 minutes, I'll slide it over 39 minutes. It'll be underneath the comment section here. This situation is, I don't know, it's hard. I'm going to ask you all, keep Miss Martin in prayer. Keenka Jenkins' mother. You know, she's got a lot of people around her right now. And when you have a lot of people around and things still aren't done, you know, there's still much business to go on, it doesn't give you the time to sit down and deal with your grief. Unfortunately, when the people go away, and the dust settles and you're alone, that's when a lot of stuff hits the hardest. Keep her in prayer. I believe it was a night of some very, very, very bad decision making. I believe in personal responsibility. Anybody who knows me knows I stand on that premise that we need to take more personal responsibility for our actions and things that we're doing on a day-to-day basis. Because when you take personal responsibility, it gives you a fighting chance. When you're not compromised, you have a fighting chance of living. At 19, you're supposed to be in college. You're supposed to be in the military or in culinary school. You're supposed to be, I don't know, in art school or in cosmetology school. You're supposed to be in some kind of training that's going to lead to a formidable career and offer you a healthy lifestyle. You're supposed to be living life with your eyes wide open. At 19, your early 20s, your metabolism is at your very best. You can stay up all night and still get up in the morning. I don't hear 20-year-olds talking about, at large amounts, that you don't have 20-year-olds with arthritis. You don't have 20-year-olds that can hardly see and got to pull things out inches away from their face in order to be able to read it. At 20, 19, and your early 20s, those are some great years. And you should be living those moments in happiness and fulfillment, clean and sober. You're not supposed to be found dead in the bottom of a freezer. We're not supposed to be looking at the people that you called friends and starting to wonder, who are these people that you have surrounded your life with? We're not supposed to be having this kind of conversation. But this is what has come to be in our society. Everything that is negative. This is highlighting everything that's negative in our society. And it shouldn't be. And we need to see better. We need to see better from our young people. I don't mind saying it. Yeah, I was young and dumb and I did some stuff. Never was a drinker, never was a drug user, but I had my issues. But I'm older now. And I'm telling you, the stuff that seems so important today when you're 19 is not important. Trust me. Trust me, the stuff that you highlight is all consuming. It's not all consuming. In order to get likes and be popular on the gram, you got to show your backside and touch your hair, your weave every 20 seconds. That seems so important. That's not important. In order to have a good time, you got to turn up. We got to pop pills. We got to drink our drink. We got to do it. That's not important. Especially when you live in the murder capital of the United States of America. But they're making things seem like they're so important when they're not. Because I've lived a little bit longer. And I know what's important now. The stuff that they're making seem so grand is not grand. I'm telling you, it's not grand. It's not. Social media, putting every single thing on social media. My goodness. And it's not just young people anymore. It's adults. Every single thing on social media. It just seems so important to some people. And it's not. It's not. All the attention to the outward appearance. So important. But no work on the character. No work on that. That's why we're talking about a 19-year-old was dead in the bottom of a freezer. Because we're around a whole lot of low life character. Work on it.